Welcome into Walk the Line, where I'm your host, OG Chris Murray, give you my Dynasty Man League Week 2 picks. A lot of action Week 1. You know, it was a lot of explosive action. But without further ado, let's dive into these Week 2 picks. First up, we have Hamilton and the Minnesota Vikings versus Taz and the Detroit Lions. Hamilton, last season, these Minnesota Vikings look like a team on a mission the first half of the season, but the second half of the season seemed to just fall completely off the mat. Last week, in their Week 1 matchup against the Chicago Bears, Mr. Kirk Cousins could not seem to figure out how to stop turning the ball over, throwing a total of 6 interceptions. Hamilton, we got to figure this out fast. If you think you're going to make a run at, first off, the division, you have to figure out how to stop turning the ball over. Taz and the Detroit Lions are coming off of a good Week 1 matchup versus Moby and those Packers, even though they fell short. They could not seem to figure out how to stop the run. This week, they should not have a problem with that because the Minnesota Vikings will be without their star running back, David Cook. Vegas has Taz favored as minus 3 points. I think Vegas got this one right, and with this pick, I'm going to have to take the Detroit Lions getting a W going into Week 3. Next up, we have under 2 rating the Washington Redskins versus tight work in the Miami Dolphins. Alright, under 2 rated came out last week and had Alex Smith looking like a complete field general out there on the field. He showed patience. He executed the game plan, took what the defense gave to him. Number one, most importantly, no turnovers. He's got to carry that same mindset heading into his Week 2 matchup because he's going up against a defense with tight work in the Miami Dolphins who feeds off of turnovers. Tight work. If it ain't fixed, don't try to fix. If it ain't broke, do not try to fix it. Lean on what you know. Come out there, cause turnovers. Vegas has tight work favorite minus 8.5 points. I also think Vegas got this one right. And with this pick, I'm going to have to take tight work in the Miami Dolphins, taking a W over under 2 rated heading into Week 3. Next up, we have the Shit Bowl game. We have Flair and the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Schemer and the New England Patriots. Man, first off, let's point out a couple things about this Pittsburgh Steelers team. Alright? I can't understand how you have Antonio Brown, who played 47 downs and only finished the game with 11 receiving yards. We're talking about Mr. 99 himself. Flair, if you think that you're going to be able to compete, number one, like I said, in your division. Number two, make a run for the playoffs. Without getting this guy going, you're tripping. You're flatlining yourself. Simple as that. You're flatlining yourself. The Schemer last week got handed a hot box of Krispy Kreme donuts, finishing the game with a big fat 0 against the New York Jets and Rich 215. Andrew Luck debut as a New England Patriot was flat out horrible. 34 passer rating, 4 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. Is this the guy that you went after, that you put so much of your organization tied up into it? Is this the guy that you really want? Is this the Andrew Luck that we know? It's mind-boggling. You know, it's mind-boggling. Vegas has the Schemer as the team favored in his matchup, minus 4.5 points. I think Vegas got this one wrong. I'm going to take, with this pick, Flair and the Pittsburgh Steelers with a big day from Antonio Brown. Next up, we have KP and the Kansas City Chiefs versus Darkness and the Tennessee Titans. Woo! KP coming off a dominating win over JB Blazer and the Denver Broncos. offense finished the game with a total of 400 offensive yards. But the key to that week 1 victory was not the offense. It was strictly defense, causing 8 turnovers. 8 turnovers. He's going up against a Tennessee Titans team that seems to have no identity on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball. I think that KP's going to bust this one wide open. Vegas has KP favorite minus 15 points. I think he's going to blow the hinges off the door with this one and probably win by 30 or more. Taking KP and the Kansas City Chiefs getting the victory heading into week 3. Next up, we have Matty Lowe and the Baltimore Ravens versus SJ and the Houston Texans. Matty Lowe was coming off of that was a 12-round heavyweight Mike Tyson fight. You know, he showed discipline. He showed that he could take a punch. In that week 1 matchup against my Cleveland Browns, you have to stick to the script, and Lamar has to do everything. Heading into this matchup against the Houston Texans, he has to do everything. But you have to figure out how to do everything without doing too much. The Texans seem to pick right up where they left off last year. You know, defense. This Houston Texans team defense flat out balled in that week 1 matchup. You know, I think Vegas got this one right. I'm taking SJ with this pick, and the Houston Texans going into week 3 with the W. Next up, we had C-Rob and the Carolina Panthers versus T-Pain and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. C-Rob flat out dominated the Seattle Seahawks last week. Flat out. Number 3 overall pick. Bash couldn't get near of a catch last week. They was on him like bloodhounds. Russell Wilson looked like a boy amongst men. And that defense, oh my God, that defense. It looked like they were sinking in quicksand. If C-Rob can carry that same momentum heading into this divisional matchup versus T-Pain and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this might be a tough game for the Buccaneers. Last week, they seemed to not figure out, they couldn't seem to figure out how to get that flow going on the offense. Like, they could not seem to just figure it out. Vegas has C-Rob favorite 4.5 points. I think Vegas got this one wrong. Tampa Bay is home. Mike Evans is coming off of a bad game. I think that T-Pain is going to figure out find some form of motivation and erase that memory of that week 1 loss, getting the W going into week 3. Next up, we have Skill Tree and the Buffalo Bills versus Rich 215 and the New York Jets. Two teams coming off of 2 different paths. You got the Bills, who some weeks seem like they want to compete, then some weeks seem like they're playing for the number 1 overall pick. Rich 215 made his debut last week versus the New England Patriots in the Schemer, which was, in my opinion, a dominating victory. Came out flat out, shut down the Schemer offense, and blew the hinges off of their defense, ripped him to shreds every chance that he was given. This week he's going up against a Buffalo Bills team that can't seem to figure out what they want to do. You know, I think the rookie, Rich 215, is going to get an easy W in this matchup. Vegas has this game favorite with Rich 215. Favorite 10 points. I think that he's easily going to cover that, getting the W going into week 3. Next up, we have Westside Pablo and the New York Giants versus Mo B and the Green Bay Packers. Wow, man, wow. Westside Pablo and the New York Giants can't seem to figure things out. You know, last week in their week 1 loss against Guwap and Arizona Cardinals, too many rookie mistakes from a rookie quarterback, Jonathan. Too many rookie mistakes, throwing multiple picks. Saquon Barkley was a ghost. I guess it's Halloween. Odell Beckham was another ghost. And that defense, poor communication. Mo B's on his high horse heading home, getting a W over the Detroit Lions last week. Mo B, you have to show discipline in this game. Even though you're facing a struggling New York Giants team, with the talent that roster possesses, this can easily be a blowout if you sleep on this team. You have to stay focused and understand that you cannot play your record. You have to play the user/roster. Simple as that. Vegas has Mo being the Packers favored by 3 points. Vegas got this one wrong. I'm looking to see a bounce back win with Westside Pablo and the New York Giants getting a W going into week 3. Next up, we had the big homie in the Cincinnati Bengals versus Guwap and the Arizona Cardinals. Was Baker Mayfield actually the number 1 overall pick? Because last week in that week 1 matchup, he looked like a 7th overall pick. A 7th rounder. That's exactly what he looked like. A 7th rounder. Because he couldn't seem to hit near a lick of one of his receivers. 38 passing rating, 3 interceptions, and 0 touchdowns. Is this the number 1 overall pick, or is this a 7th rounder? But the big homie's going to have to figure it out, because he's going up against Guwap and those Arizona Cardinals, who came off of a dominating win in their week 1 matchup versus the New York Giants. But we know that this Arizona Cardinals team can ball out. We know this. We've seen this. But can this Arizona Cardinals team seem to stay consistent? Can they be consistent? Can they figure out how to carry that momentum from week 1 onto week 2, then on to week 3, and just keep it going? Can they figure it out? I think he's going to figure it out in this matchup. Vegas has Guwap favored by 7 points. I think with this pick, With this pick, I'm going to take Guwap and the Arizona Cardinals getting a W going into week 3. Next up, we have Nasty Noop and the Atlanta Falcons versus Sweets 99 and the San Francisco 49ers. Alright. Is there such thing as too much talent? Is there such thing as too much talent? I think out there in Atlanta, them having so much talent is the cause sometimes of them getting L's. Because flat out, this team on paper is a top 3 offense in the DML right now. You know, they got tight end David Njoku this offseason, paired up with Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Tevin Coleman, Deontay Freeman. But I think sometimes this offense, with so much talent that they have, these their downfall. You know, the San Francisco 49ers, however, can't seem to figure out how to get key guys going on the offensive side of the ball. Even though they had a dominating win over Flair and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and which was pretty much an exhibition game, this week he's going to have to figure out how to get those guys going, because he's going up against the Atlanta Falcons team, who defense isn't a joke. His defense isn't a joke. The defense ain't nothing to play around with. And if you think that a key guy like Marquise Goodwin is going to be able to come out and get a total of 16 receiving yards and he's going to walk away with a W, got another thing coming. You have to figure out how to get top production out of your top guys. Vegas has Sweets 9-9 in the San Francisco favorite. As favorite with 6 points. I think Vegas got this one wrong. I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons and Nasty Noob getting the W going into week 3. Next up, we have JB Blazin and the Denver Broncos versus Eddie and the defending Super Bowl champs, the LA Chargers. Wow. Both of these teams, man. Woo. Didn't look like pretty much nothing in their week 1 matchup. The Denver Broncos seem to always shoot themselves in their own foot. Simple as that. They're picking up right where they left off last season with killing their own self on the offense side of the ball. You cannot expect to compete or to win games if you're coming out week after week throwing 5 interceptions or more. You can't. You cannot think that you're going to pull off a victory if you're throwing 5 or more interceptions. He's already won game. He already took one loss to a division mate. This is a game that he does not want to lose. Flat out the gate, going 0-2 in your division, that's not a good start. However, a rose raised through the concrete and through the dirt. Rookie, first round pick, Antoine Posey had a big game. He had a big game. 4 sacks. I'm looking to see how that duo was going to happen with Von Miller. It's man, that could be a nasty duo right there. But he's facing the defending Super Bowl champ, Eddie and those LA Chargers, who another team that did not look like the Super Bowl team that we seen raise the DML banner last season. Like, this team looked like flat out garbage. Phillip Rivers threw a total of 5 interceptions. The defense looked bad. The offense, the run game, everything flat out looked bad on LA side in that week 1 loss. Vegas has Andy favored 10 points. I think in this matchup, this is going to be a way close game than what a lot of people are going to think. But I'm going to take, with this pick, Andy and the LA Chargers getting the W heading into week 3. Next up, we have my Cleveland Browns versus Jay and the Seattle Seahawks. It was a tough. That was a tough loss. Week 1 against division mate Matty Lowe and those Baltimore Ravens. But this team, my team is young, and we got to show discipline. There was a couple key plays that we missed, but I think my guys are gonna bounce back. The Seattle Seahawks last week looked like flat out shit. Offense couldn't find a way to get going. The defense got strutted. This right here is gonna be a bounce back game for both users. I think both offenses are gonna come out balling. I think this game's gonna come down to who can make a stop. Simple as that. Who can make a stop? You know me, I never pick against myself. So I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns, my Cleveland Browns, getting the W going into week 3. Next up, we have HBO and the Dallas Cowboys versus King Vitamin and the Los Angeles Rams. The people got one question, HBO, and we need to answer ASAP. Who is Taco? Who is he? Who is Taco, man? We need to know, who is Taco? We want to know who his Taco is. This offseason, HBO decided to part ways with Dak Prescott, and he brought in Jared Barrett out of Tennessee. He brought in Juju Smith-Schuster to help out with that wide receiver core, made some moves. The offense looked a whole lot better than just seeing every single play go to Ezekiel Elliott. You know, the offense looked good. He stated in the press conference that he felt that he put his all into that week 1 matchup against Tyreek and the Miami Dolphins. If he put his all into that matchup, I feel sorry for the rest of his season because he got his ass blown out. He's going up against a Los Angeles Rams team who couldn't figure out how to get the job done and close out that game versus 85 and the New Orleans Saints. This week he's home. I think he's going to get his offense going, get Todd Gurley going, but he has to figure out how to protect Jared Goff. He's going up against Left-Hand Lawrence, who is a beast. If you can't protect Jared Goff, you can't expect to get a W against this Dallas Cowboys team. Vegas has King Vitamin favorite, 15 points. I think he gets the job done this game. I'm taking with this pick King Vitamin and Los Angeles Rams getting a W going into week 3. Next up we have Tone Dog and the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Bust and the Chicago Bears. Tone, like he turned Father Time back because this Oakland with this Las Vegas Raiders team looked flat out like they were ready to contend for a Super Bowl. Defense played solid, 3 interceptions, 4 sacks. Offense, passing game was strong. The run game was strong. Only thing that he might want to cut down in this matchup is the turnovers. You're going up against a Chicago Bears team who defense looked like the same defense we've seen all last season. Hungry, vicious, and at home, you cannot expect to come out there in the Chi-Town, throw 4 interceptions, and walk away with a victory. Can't. The Bust defense is very ferocious, you know, but that offense is seeming to pick up its production, you know, because last year we noticed that Chicago Bears defense started to get fatigued in the second half of the season. So if his offense can figure out how to keep that same level of production as the defense, this is going to be a very, very dangerous Chicago team this year. Vegas have the Bust favorite, 2.5 points. I think Vegas got this right, and I'm going to take the Bust and the Chicago Bears getting a W going into week 3. Next up, we have the DML game of the week. We have 85 and the New Orleans Saints versus Matty Ice and those Philadelphia Eagles. Whew. Building for the future is what the New Orleans Saints has stated coming into this season. Deciding to bench Drew Brees and give the starting quarterback position to Teddy Bridgewater. In my opinion, I don't think that was a good move because this offense does not look like the offense that we seen last year that got them to the Super Bowl. You know, Teddy Bridgewater looked to struggle and key points of the game that whereas they had to call Drew Brees in to get the job finished. He's going up against Matty Ice and those Philadelphia Eagles who made the number 2 power move this past offseason, getting not only the first overall pick, but the number 2 overall pick also. And both of those guys flat out balled out in their week 1 victory. You had Joey Russell, the free safety, coming away with a pick, and you had Morgan Painter coming away with 3 picks. So these guys flat out showed why they were the number 1 and number 2 overall pick. This is going to be a potential NFC Championship preview right here. You know, these are two powerhouse users. Addy showed last season why he was and what we know him to be. Getting over to the Super Bowl. Matty Ice, same thing. Showed last season why he's a top tier user in the DML. I think this game is going to come down to who can cause turnovers and execute off those turnovers. Vegas has the Philadelphia Eagles and Matty Ice favored 2 points. I think Vegas got this right, and I'm going to have to go with Matty Ice and the Philadelphia Eagles getting a W over 85 in the New Orleans Saints going into week 3. Next up, we have Expert in the Jacksonville Jaguars versus Marizi and the Indianapolis Colts. Mr. Cosby award winner Expert pulled a rabbit out of the hat this offseason, getting Dak Prescott, who rejuvenated this Jacksonville Jaguars offense. Last year, we already knew quarterback was the issue. The quarterback position was the issue. Blake Bortles pretty much threw away the Jacksonville Jaguars season last year. You know, Dak came out in the week 1 victory and flat out balled out and had this Jacksonville Jaguar offense looking spectacular. To complement the offense, the defense balled out too, causing a total of 5 turnovers. You know, if that offense can play a full season how they played in that week 1 matchup, this can be a very dangerous Jacksonville Jaguars team. But he's going up against an Indianapolis Colts team who made a couple key moves also this offseason. You know, and those moves that he made, acquiring Melvin Gordon and bringing in middle linebacker Raquan McMillan, it's that Indianapolis Colts team look like they're building in the right direction. But I don't think this week that Colts team is going to be able to compete with this Jacksonville Jaguars team. Vegas has Expert favorite 7.5 points. I think Vegas got this one right, and I'm taking Expert in the Jacksonville Jaguars getting a W over Marizi and the Indianapolis Colts going into week 3. Those are my picks for week 2. Drop a comment. We'll be right back at it again in week 3. I'm your host, OG Chris Murray. I'm out.